Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elzar Valgueros, and welcome back to more Satisfactory. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of work just to save some time on the outside here. Just to save some time. We are just on the edge of the Red Forest here, out in this little cove here with this water node and this hydrogen gas, or nitrogen gas node, not hydrogen. And we're going to be working on our aluminium factory today. We don't technically need like a whole lot of stuff coming from this factory for now, but we do absolutely need to at least get casings and I believe aluminium sheets. So I went around and I started collecting some of the materials that are around here. There's a couple of bauxite nodes over in this direction into that forest area. There's a caterium node right here. I'm pretty sure this is a pure caterium node. No, it's a normal node. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, we got 600 lines of bauxite right there. And then if we just hop on over our way over here, you can see I got 4 lines of bauxite and 3 lines of coal. And I also found a couple of hard drives too that I've been going through. So let's get that, then send that through. But these lines here are, some of them are 600, some of them are a full 780 belt, but I'm just going to be doing the math in the terms of each of these are 600 belts, just for simplicity's sake. We're not going to be able to use the full expanse of these belts up until we have the 1200 belts. So yeah, all these coal lines, of course, again, we're gonna pretend that they're 600 belts. But yeah, the goal today mostly is getting a simple aluminium setup going, so that way we can provide our factory, which is located right over here. We just need to make sure that there's enough material in order for us to have the pasta up and going. So we're gonna have to go into the testing world and making sure that we know exactly what we're doing here. So let's quickly take a look. We already have the 6,000 copper with the 10 constructors making our copper powder. That's all taken care of. We were looking into getting our belts for the rubber. There, and there. Which these are all done. 28 rubber per minute, combined with the quartz crystals and the AI limiters to make the crystal oscillators. 100 per minute, combined with said crystal oscillators, circuit boards, casings, and rubber to make the radio control units. The rubber, thankfully, is done. And over here, the 100 rubber per minute, along with the modular frames, encased industrial beams, and screws to make the heavy modular frames. So now, we are going to need, let us see here, 200 aluminium casings per minute for the radio control units. On top of that, we are also going to need an additional 125 for the fused modular frames. So in total, we are going to need, what is that, 325 Yeah, 325 aluminium casings per minute. Shouldn't be that bad. Of course, because of transportation, we're going to have to make sure that there is a little bit extra because throughput can be a big problem. So, yeah, we're going to have to think about how we're going to get some of this stuff through. Well, instead of going with trains, because I was originally planning on doing trains, we could make use of our fuel power plant. Ooh. Now there's an idea. Ooh, now there is an idea. Ooh, okay. Hold on, let me cook a little bit here. So here's my thought. What if we had a drone port set up right here, probably taking in some, oh, what are they called? Aluminum canisters? No, they're not aluminum canisters. They are called, what are they? Are they considered parts? Oh, it should be like empty fluid tanks. That's it. Yeah, and they only take aluminum ingots. So what if we had this drone port here and taking in aluminum tanks or empty tanks, putting them into this drone, right? And then we were to go ahead and take our little hypertube network over. I forgot that it's behind me. This way. I really like the design of some of the factories, especially when the sun's going down, because the factory kind of looks like it has like veins etching into the ground itself. I think that's really cool. Anyway, as I was saying, if we were to say make a drone taking the empty canisters and then bringing them over here to the fuel power plant, deliver the canisters in here, and then having some of the canisters go back into the drone port and have those canisters fuel a second drone that is going to take all of the, or a second and third drone, not one drone, two drones, to take the casings and the aluminium sheets over to the pasta factory. I think that might work. I really think that might work. Unfortunately, though, that means I'm going to have to up the storage capacity of this. So let's put all of those in there, take some fuel out for myself, put the depot back in. Now, I would say, why don't we use, like, the turbo fuel or, you know, the regular fuel that's literally just sitting here doing nothing right now. But at the aluminium plant, the aluminium casings are, or not the aluminium casings, the aluminium ingots are just so plentiful. I don't necessarily have to worry about them running out. Because otherwise, I would have to go to the rubber and plastic plant to make empty canisters, have the empty canisters be shipped back here to use again when I'm already, you know, making them. I have to find a way to get rid of them. It'll just be a huge pain in the ass. And I don't think the fluid canisters actually return after they've been used. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set up a couple of drones here and get this ball rolling. So let's set up the drone port. I would say about right here ought to do the trick. We gotta get the logistical inputs about right there. Do that, and most importantly, split this so that way it can feed itself. Hello, ma'am research. What recipe do you have for me today? Steel canisters and miners? We'll go with the canisters, thank you. Let's do that. There we go. We'll just send that guy over there for now. Perfect. So now, this is going to have rocket fuel. And it's going to bring rocket fuel. So, let's see here. This port. Select a destination of Arlanda. And Arlanda set the destination to this port. 1,600 meters. Status, what's wrong? There's no drone. Yes, I know there's no drone, but is the drone from Arlanda coming here? No. This is 1,600 meters, by the way. That's not really that far of a distance. Oh, wait a minute. Could it be that I didn't actually set the destination to the... Oh. That could be why. Alright, let's pitter-patter our way over here. So, let's do this. Nope. Split this stack. Let's say about 4. Oh. Oh. Oh, we're going. Oh, look at him go. Whee! I don't know how this is working. But look at that rocket fuel. Ow! I almost died. I had to force myself to jump off. I was taking so much fall damage. Holy shit. Okay. Holy fuck, that was funny. Okay, so now this drone will therefore drop off all of its material. I'm going to want to add, let's see here. I'm going to want to add a little buffer there. Then we can go ahead and add that. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this. So that way I can put a lift here. Send this all the way up. Why am I not using my hover pack? I won't know. Do that. Then do that. Yeah. Cool. So now I can delete this whole thing. Fill this up with the remaining canisters, so that way I can still keep making rocket fuel. Then, all we gotta do is just worry about the aluminium itself. Then fuel will be taken care of. Alright, so now that we're back and we have a general idea of what we gotta do, let's make some aluminium. We have the bauxite, we have the coal, and I just got 3 full pipes of 600 water coming out of that fracking node right there. Let's make some stuff. So, of course, we are going to have to make a new blueprint, because the old blueprint doesn't work anymore. We don't actually have a blueprint for aluminium, so we're gonna have to make one. So let's start off with just the basic. We'll start off with just one. I want to center this about right there. This is just so I can fit a pipe coming through here. Because we are going to want a pipe system feeding back into this. Probably going to put that right there. Alright. So, this guy is going to be making this. The alternate sloppy aluminium recipe. Where it's going to take 200 bauxite and 200 water to make 240 aluminium solution. You can overclock this fully to use 500 bauxite, 500 water to make 600 aluminium solution. So pretty much you're going to be expending a lot. A lot of stuff. But for the sake of it, we're only going to do 200 and 200. Because we could easily split a 300 belt, or a 600 belt and a 600 pipeline very easily through this. So, of course, we are going to need our little boyo. And I think we're just going to go ahead and have the splitter go from the left, considering that the coal and the bauxite are coming from over here. Now here comes the tricky part. I'm actually going to redo this, because we're going to need to do some finagling here. When it comes to water, and when you are doing a system with aluminium, water is really, really dumb in this game. I've even seen interviews with developers themselves, and even they have no idea what the hell is going on. So, the best way I have found on TikTok, actually, some gentleman on TikTok showed me how to do this, is to take a system, take your pipe, put a junction right there, and then you're going to take a second pipe that goes up like this, and it's supposed to auto-connect at a perfect 90-degree angle, or is it a little bit higher? I don't actually remember. This seems a little absurd. But yeah, basically, you kind of want to have something like this. And the valve, that's why it's being dumb. So, let's do this. Do that. And now the valve will fit. Okay. So, let me explain what the hell's going on here. Basically, you want your feedback system to loop going through this part of the junction itself. Because the way that I see it, the pipe is pushing the water straight across. Right? This is your primary flow, right? Water flows straight when given pressure. So, the idea is to input your remaining water kind of like this. It's really, really weird. Like, it's super weird. And what I'm actually thinking about, what if I could... No, that's way too close. What if I were to... That's really bothering me that the horizontal to vertical thing doesn't send it to a 90-degree angle unless if it's higher. That's stupid. That's very dumb. Very, very dumb. But basically what I'm trying to get at here, you want to have a pipe coming out of here with the valve to slow down the water on the input. So that way, the water that's coming in from the return takes priority, because you don't want your system to back up with water and have it be clogged and you're going to lose all your aluminium. It's really, really stupid. So, how about if we did this? Let's go ahead and build the rest of... Let's build the rest of the machines. This might be able to help me here. Right, we want a pipe junction out this way. So let's set this up like that. I really wish I centered this. God damn it. Alright. So let's do that. That. And that. Perfect. That way everything is centered, everything is good. Have the loop around system, just like that. There. There. Good, good. Then what we can do is set up a little system like this. Have a 2-high pipe going fully across like that. Or is that going to have to... does that have to be 3-high? I think that has to be 3-high. There's no way a valve is actually going to fit right in here. Holy shit, it will. Holy crap, okay. Alright, so... Obviously, this is not going to be the final design. Because what is this pipe work? Holy crap. This pipe work is absolutely abysmal. And I also just realized that those refineries are backwards. Ah! Okay, so through countless trials and errors, probably about 4 tries, I finally came up with this little design. It's pretty easy. You just have your pipes feeding into the junction that is set up like square with the grid. You have your water coming in from the top, which these are going to be, I believe, 3 pipes high, because this right here will be 1, 2, and 3. You have your valves going in like that, and then nice and compact, you just simply put your belts right on top of the pipes, just like this. And of course, these are all going to be set to the aluminum solution, just like that. And then this will take care of a full 600 belt. That's what I meant to say. A 600 belt of bauxite and a 600 pipe of water. So now we can go over here and set this to aluminum. We'll set this to A, coming in from the left. Directory, liquid input. We're going to add the blueprint right there. Icon, let's do the solution. Since, well, that's what this is making. That, and save. Cool. Now, we clear it, collect our stuff, and do the next part. So, let us go ahead and grab our refineries. Set that guy right in the middle again. Because, of course, we're going to have a pipe coming in from right there. That and that. So these will be really easy now, because we can just take these and connect them straight into here. these are going to be making our scrap. Just like that, that, and that. Of course, basic, set up power. Then, the only thing that we're going to have to do for these guys... 120 coal per minute. Ugh. That's a dumb number. The only thing that we're going to have to do is just set up a little belt system, little overflow system, just like that. And that's pretty much it. It's that easy. It's that easy. The coal has to come in through here. So, of course, you know, the pipe is going to go this way. Just like that. Coal's going to go into each of the machines. This pipe is, of course, our water, which will feed through here, connect to the other guy. And then another pipe is going to come from here and the output of the first couple buildings. That's going to contain all of the aluminium solution. And we're going to get a crap ton of scrap. And you can see here, the byproduct that we're going to have is 120 water per minute. We're going to keep that number in mind. 120. So this is going to be aluminium B. Coming from, of course, the left. I'm going to add this blueprint right here. Select an icon. We'll make this into scrap. Save blueprint. So, once again, keep in mind, 120 water per minute. We're going to load our blueprint of the solution. And so, we are going to need 200 water, which means these valves need to be set at 80. Just like that. We're going to do that. We're going to save, clear, take all of our stuff, and now we use it. So, aluminium A. We're going to start building these guys right there. And then aluminium B. Is going to line up perfectly with aluminium A. Just like that. False. Just like that. There we go. So, super simple. All we got to do, connect the water, connect the solution, boom, 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 and boom, and we're done. That is aluminium. Pretty much done. So, here's what we're going to do now. Going to take some of the aluminium, some of the bauxite, send it that way. Then we're going to take some of the coal and send it this way. Water, we're going to bring up from right here. Just like that. Then send our pipeline straight over here. Oh my god, these freaking pigs, dude. Alright, come on. What the hell? Alright, water's pumping. There's a Mark II pump sending that water through. Its throughput should very, very easily be, 600 per minute. Oh yeah, there it is. Sweet. Now all we gotta do is just get the power going. Alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is set up little towers like so. Then have these guys go into the side of the wall right about there. Pigs, I am trying to do work. Can you please just go away? And perfect. There we go. Bauxite is flowing, water flowing, and we're getting the scrap. 360 per minute to be precise. So now it begs the question of what are we going to be doing with all of this stuff? Pretty simple. We're going to smelt it. We're going to smelt it all. Every last bit of it. Pure aluminium ingots. 360 divided by 6. Or 30, well, that basically translates to 36 divided by 6, which, if you guys, went through school, is 6. So all we gotta do is just set up a couple of smelters. One, do that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set up our little overflow system. Then off it goes. Alright, and then that is going to be making us 30 times 6, 180 ingots per minute. Not bad. So, where do we go from here now? Well, we have 180 ingots. I'm going to actually write that down so I don't forget. Do that, and aluminum ingots. Perfect. 180 per minute. First off, we need canisters. We need fluid tanks. And it appears to be a 1-to-1. Okay, so let me think about this now. We need canisters. Yeah, we need canisters to be sent over to the fuel power plant. So we'll do that. And we got to set this guy to 50% because it's only making 30 a minute. It's weird. Why is this only running at 92%? It should be running at 100%. Why? Weird. Alright, but whatever. Everything will be fine. Everything stacks up to the scrap stacks up to 500, so it's going to take a while for the overflow system to work out. Okay. Alright, so we got to come back over this way. We go zoom. This guy. We gotta delete him. Here's the problem. I don't know. I don't think... I'll have to finagle with this a little bit. If we were to set up the drone port, like so, set this guy up, right? So he's making canisters. Right? We set this port to Valorade and Valorade to here. Get the transport, get the drone on board. Okay. And what we're gonna need to do is set up a splitter here. Do this. That. Oh. Okay. Well. We'll figure that out, I guess. So this is sending the canisters over. That is going to bring the fuel in. Then this drone port is going to send some of this fuel into here with a smart splitter and an awesome sink. That way we have the overflow fuel getting dumped. Wait, no, I don't want the overflow fuel getting dumped. That's stupid. Why would I do that? Yeah, everything should be okay. What the hell? Alright, let's see what this looks like. What? It goes through the floor? Wait a minute. No! What the heck? No! Alright. Hold on. I really gotta get a little hypertube cannon to point me in that direction, because that's a little absurd. Oh, that's another water node right there. I didn't even know that was there. Doobie-doobie-doo. Okay, so it's not the fuel that I want synced. It's all of the extra canisters that I want synced. Everything else is fine. Alright, yeah, that'll work out. Once again, all temporary. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Is it a little annoying that the drone port is going to be going through the floor? Yes. That is going to be a little annoying. But I can live with it. Alright, cool. So now, what we can do is we could start getting our 300... What did I say it was? Like 325 casings per minute we're going to need? Ooh, that's going to be a lot. Yikes. Holy shit. So, 90 aluminium ingots to make 60 casings. That sucks. That is a terrible ratio, actually. What in the hell? Alright, let's get a drone here. We're gonna name this guy... casing out or pasta. Oh wait, no, this will be casing in. Alright, we can do that, or there's another recipe that we can use. We can use the alclad casings, which take a little bit of copper and aluminium and makes casings. But in order to do that, I gotta use that little copper node that's right over there. So, one moment, please. Okay, it's a mess, alright? It is definitely a mess. But for what we are going to be needing right now, this is perfectly fine. We are currently making, what is that, 112.5 times 4, about 450 aluminium casings per minute. And of course, these are all being fed into the system here, where everything is actually going. I don't know, probably into the drone itself. But pretty much, that's casings, all taken care of. So, all we gotta do now is head back over this way. Then we can get started on the rest of the build. Because casings are done over there. The rubber and everything is done over there. That's being trained in through that little track you can see sneaking its way in right over there. So overall, we're good to go. Those are all of the outside parts that we're going to have to bring in. And yeah, if you head on down under here, you can see all of the rubber and stuff coming in at a solid about 500 per minute. And that is well above the threshold that we needed the rubber to come in at. So now we can finally start building all of the machines that are needed for the pressure conversion cubes, which is gonna be a whole chore of its own. Let's head on over to the testing world real fast and decide what exactly we are going to be tackling first, because we're going to be starting probably in this little corner right here and figuring out what to do first. All right, here we go. Now, what we got to do? What do we have to do? Problem, actually, now that I look at it, we need to bring in one more material. We already have all of the nitrogen gas coming in. All of the rubber is all good. Don't know why none of this saved. But I know I absolutely saved all this. Nitrogen gas is done. Casings are done. Then that's done. One more thing that we do have to bring in, however, is going to be quartz and silica. Luckily, there is going to be some quartz and some silica close by. So, let's go grab that. All right. After a little bit of belt work and some power rerouting, we finally have our 3 belts of quartz coming in to make quartz crystals, more quartz crystals, and then, of course, all of these over here are the silica production. So now we have everything that we need in order to make the pressure conversion cubes. So, this video is getting a little long, so that means next time we are actually going to go ahead and start the construction of the nuclear pasta factory. So this is huge. We're starting. Oh boy. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Want to see some more? Subscribe. Make sure to follow me on my other socials as well. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.